Hey, welcome to episode 3 of Oh the Humanity. This is Rob Wright. I'm very glad to have you here today. I had a wonderful opportunity to interview two wonderful local artists, and they have a lot to share, and I can't wait to show off their work for you to enjoy. I have Elena Walls Cosner and I have Karen R. Staples. Two interviews, so I'm going to keep my opening very brief. And I think a good way to do that is do some mindfulness today. The world's pretty crazy, and I've talked about that for 2 episodes now. So I want to balance it out a little bit by taking a time to just breathe, to go through a couple of very basic mindfulness exercises to experience just presence away from the noise and to get an opportunity to kind of check in with oneself and recenter. And so, very easy exercises I have for you today. Nothing too complicated. Anyone can do it. So, if you're new to mindfulness, don't worry, it'll be a piece of cake. But first, just check in with how you are right now. Just take a brief scan of the body. How does the body feel? What feels good? What feels a little off? Do you feel tight? Do you feel relaxed? Just take a moment to just generally scan the body. And take note, does your heart rate feel elevated or does it feel rather normal? How is your breathing? Is it shallow or deep in this moment? Just taking note of it. No need to change it. Just seeing where it is right now. Now check in with your mind. How is it acting right now? Just take that moment to observe the mind. Is it running amok? Is it calm, steady? There are all sorts of thoughts, easily distracted in this moment. Are you focused? Is it ordered or chaotic? Not judging it, not trying to change it, just seeing what the mind is doing right now in this moment. And I like doing this to compare this to how we feel after we go through these exercises. But what we're going to start with is more of a deeper body scan. So we're going to start out with the bottoms of our feet. And I'll call out the parts of the body all the way to the top and just follow along and just place your awareness in those parts of the body. Just being aware of the sensations. Like, for instance, when we talk about the bottoms of the feet, we'll just focus on how it feels for those feet to touch the floor or whatever surface they're on. Just know that they're there. And then we'll move on with each body part. So we'll start with the bottoms of the feet, being aware of them. And then the heels, the toe, the tops of the feet, the ankle, the shins and calves, the knee, the hamstrings and quadricep of the upper leg, hips, glutes, and pelvis, the abdomen and lower back, the chest and upper back, the shoulders, bicep and tricep of the upper arm, the elbows, the forearm, the wrists, palms of the hand, the backs of the hands, and the fingers, and up to the neck, chin, jaw, and mouth, the cheeks, the ears, the nose, the eye, the eyebrow, the temples, the forehead, around the sides and back of the head, the top of the head. Now be present with the whole body at once, from head to toe, being aware of it. And now let's do a breathing exercise. So we're going to breathe in through the nose for a count of 4. We're going to hold our breath for a count of 4. We'll exhale for a count of 4. And I'll start counting it off for you so you can just focus on that. Focus on taking nice, deep, full breaths. And then I'm going to back off and leave my voice out of it. And you just focus on your own counting and your own breathing, using the counting and the sensation of breath as your anchor. So if there's anything going else on in the mind, just focus it on the breathing and the counting and let everything else for now just kind of go away. Just let it fade away, just focusing on the breath. So we're going to start with an inhale through the nose. We'll hold it and you'll exhale through the mouth and then you'll repeat. So we'll start our inhale through the nose. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Now continue counting, breathing fully on your own. In for 4, hold for 4, out for 4. And now just settle into a natural breath in through the nose and out through the nose at your own pace, naturally breathing. Be aware of the sensation of the air coming in through the nostrils, all the way down deep into the belly and lungs. Thoughts, images, feelings, grocery lists come up. Just direct your mind gently back to breathing, inhaling and exhaling, letting everything else go just for now. Distractions arise. Let's go back to the breath. Good. And just kind of check in with the body. How does it feel? How do you feel? How is your mind? Think about when we started, how it felt, what was going on then as compared to now. And now we'll go through an exercise where we're going to contract some muscles of the body and release them. And once you contract them, I want you to really focus on the release, that sensation of letting go of that contraction, letting the body relax further and further as each muscle group we go through. So we'll start again at the bottom with our feet. Just curl your toes under you and squeeze the soles of the feet and let it go. Just focus on the release of the muscles. And now raising up just where you're sitting, raising up on the balls of the feet, squeezing those calf muscles and just squeeze them, squeeze them, squeeze them. Just hold them tight. Let them go, dropping the heel to the floor. Focus on the release, that sensation of letting go of the muscle. And now on the shins, we'll raise the toes off the ground, squeeze the shin muscles, and then let them go. Draw your heels back and squeeze the hamstrings and let them go. Straighten the legs, squeeze the quadriceps and let them go. Now try to squeeze the hips, glutes, and pelvis, even that perineum. Tighten it up. Squeeze, 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 and let it go. Tightening the abdomen, pulling the navel toward the spine, straightening and tightening that lower back, the erectors, and letting it go. Now up to the chest, squeeze the pectorals, contract, and release. Retracting that scapula, squeezing the shoulder blades together. And let it go. Now let's shrug those shoulders up to the ears, tighten it up, and let them fall. Contracting the biceps, squeezing those biceps, bending at the elbow, let it go. Straightening the arms, tightening the triceps, the back of the arm, and release. Palms up as you rest them on your knees. Curl your hands up, knuckles forward, squeeze those forearms, let it go. Palms down, same thing, knuckles back this time, squeezing the forearms, letting it go. Ball your hands into fists and squeeze them as hard as you can and let them go. Now we'll go to the face and just tighten all the muscles of the face at once, making a crazy face. Go tighten that face and let it go. And now the scalp, try to tighten the scalp. It's a funny face. Let it go. Now just check in with your body again. How does it feel? I feel more relaxed. I hope you do too. And now, one last thing before we move on to our interviews and other parts of the show. Do a meditation. This is one of my favorite, very simple meditations where we can focus on our breathing and just imagine and utilize that mind's eye. Just place ourselves in an environment that is peaceful and serene. So, to start out our meditation, we're going to take a couple of deep, deep breaths in. So, breathe in through the nose as deeply as you can, deeper and deeper, deeper and deeper. Hold it and let it out through the mouth with a big sigh. Another deep breath in through the nose and try to go deeper than the first. Hold it. Breathe out through the mouth, letting it go. One last deep breath, deeper than the first two. Filling up until you feel like you're going to pop. Hold it. Let it out. And just imagine yourself at the beach, walking the line where the ocean meets the sand. Feel the breeze coming off the water. Feel the warmth of the sun. Feel the sand beneath your feet. Take a moment to imagine what else you would see in this place walking the beach. Populate the shoreline, palm trees, vegetation, whatever you'd like to see there. Imagine what the salt air would smell like. Imagine the sound of the crashing waves, seagulls gathering round. Anything you can imagine to immerse yourself in this place at the beach. If you get distracted or lost, lose your place, just go right back to the beach and start reimagining it just as you left it off. And now turn to face the waves rolling into the shore. And try to synchronize your breath with the wave. As you inhale, the waves come in. As you exhale, the waves go out. Inhale, the waves roll in. Exhale, the waves roll out. Start to notice something's bobbing in the waves, just in your sight, but out quite a distance. And with each breath, each wave coming into the shore, this thing comes a little bit closer. And you can start to make out that it looks like a treasure chest bobbing in the waves. Each inhale, the waves bring it closer and closer. You can start to take note of the type of wood it is, its unique attributes of this particular chest that you're envisioning. Closer and closer with each inhale, the chest comes closer to shore till it is on the beach in front of you. Take a moment to examine the chest, have marking, the lock. What is it made of? What does it feel like? And whenever you're ready, just open the chest and be open to whatever's inside. No matter how random it may seem, just go with it. Examine whatever was in the chest. What does it mean to you, literally, figuratively? How does whatever was inside make you feel? Thoughts, emotions it conjures, what memories it may conjure. just spend a moment with this thing that was in the chest. And now take a big deep breath in through the nose, just as we started. Hold it, exhale fully through the mouth, pulling the navel to the spine, squeezing out that air. Another deep breath, deeper than the first, in through the nose. Hold it and let it out through the mouth, exhaling fully, navel going toward the spine. One last deep breath, deeper than the first two. Fill up until you're going to pop, holding it. Now exhale fully, big sigh. Ah. Well, I hope you feel relaxed. I hope you feel more centered, calmer, or whatever you needed that to be. Thank you for listening. Thank you for participating. And I hope you got something out of it. I know I feel better after that. And every time I do that, every time I take a moment just to breathe, I feel better. And if we could all do that throughout the day, I know days are busy, times are crazy, but even if you can just take a big deep breath and wiggle your toes, just that little bit can make you feel a little more present, a little more you, a little more human, a little more ready to be wherever you happen to be in that moment. And if it just does that, it does a world of good. So it's about time for our interview with Karen R. Staples, local artist. But first, AI Rob has an ASMR video that he's prepared. So we're going to roll the tape of that and then we'll get into our interviews. Has it been a long day? Enjoy this ASMR video to calm your nervous system and brighten your mood.
Hi, Rob.
Hi, I'm glad to be here with Karen Staples, local artist. Hi, Karen. How are you?
Fabulous. How are you?
I'm good. I'm glad you have the energy, a little more energy than I have today. I like that. So, you wanted to talk about the Court Passport to Art event, correct?
Yes, it's fabulous. Ronaquake Passport to Art event is the last weekend of July. It's a fun event where you get a carload of your friends, and instead of bar hopping, you go art hopping. So you go from studio to house to studio to gallery all around Irondequoit and catch something to eat in Irondequoit, then go back out. And it's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday event. And you get this cool little passport that has everyone's addresses and names and little bios about their art. And then you can say, oh, I really like that picture. I want to see that one first. And then you drive over there first. And then you can hop around from there.
So, it guides you through. You're not kind of just
Yeah.
thrown into it. It gives you some sort of plan to follow a path.
Yeah. We get the neat map. So you can look at the map and sort of get a game plan. I want to do these ones and then this one and eat over here and then go to there. But why I'm chatting about it today and not in July is we're still looking for more artists. And the deadline is March 1st so that we can get the publication going.
Okay.
And so artists have to be Irondequoit residents, or they have a studio in Irondequoit, or they work in Irondequoit. If they know a friend that's in Irondequoit that would sponsor or host them, then they could,
Okay.
be from Pittsford, but as long as your friend lives in Irondequoit.
Okay.
But and then there's a different way to sign up if you have a host site. Um, and so we're definitely looking to flesh out more participants. And of course, we're always looking for sponsors. Sponsors don't have to be from Irondequoit; they can be anywhere.
Okay.
And if you're interested in supporting local art, a lot of our artists are hobbyists, and this might be their first or second time doing an art event. So if you would like to support the newbies, we would woohoo love really appreciate that. And we do have some seasoned people that have their own galleries, like the Artist Cave and the Art Center of Rochester have their own galleries, and obviously they'll be showing too. Um, and
So
actually, the Art Center,
it's in a mix of experienced artists and novices, correct?
correct, correct,
Oh,
yes,
nice.
yes,
I like that.
and
So how
whatever your
would
genre, if you like photographs or if you like woodworking or metal or landscape acrylics, that's me. Um,
oh, mhm.
we even have a lady that makes scarves, silk dyed scarves, really pretty.
Oh, that sounds
Um,
beautiful.
yeah, yeah. And one guy makes little D&D characters.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah,
Oh, figurines, and now what do
yep.
they do you know what he uses to make them? What's the medium?
Well, the one that I loved, it was made with pipe cleaners.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I love it.
yeah, they're really
It
wild.
there's so
Yeah,
many things you can use to create. It's amazing.
yeah,
So
yeah.
how would somebody sign up? If you're an artist and you'd like to be a part of this event, how would you sign up?
Um, there's obviously a Facebook group, Ronaquake Passport to Art 2026,
Okay.
and in the files is the PDF that you can download and fill it out, or you can pop over to the Artist Cave, which is a gallery in Ronaquake across from Seabreeze, and they have all the paperwork there also.
Okay, nice.
We do have a new website, Running Quite Passport to Art. It was just launched, so we don't have all the forms up there yet, but we do have some of the information there. But most of the information's on Facebook, and it's made public, so you don't have to be a Facebook member in order to get on there.
Okay.
Uh,
I'll definitely be posting that information and a link to the website on my social media, and we'll bring it up maybe during the interview on a card here as we take a break or something like that for everyone to get
Yay!
a chance to see it. All right.
Wonderful. Thank you.
So if
Yes.
if no, you're welcome. If you just want to go and participate and take the walk, um, how do they sign up for that?
Oh, you just go online and you'll see the maps once the and right now you could see like last year's maps
Okay.
if you wanted to check that out. When we get closer to July, we'll upload the map so you can get yourself a route of where you want to start, where you want to go, and whatnot. And we'll have the little passports online. And then at the different locations, we'll have the actual physical passports
Okay.
um, to that you can take with you. And one lady got everyone to autograph all the
Oh,
sites, which
great.
was really yeah.
That's a good idea. Now, what if you haven't signed up and you want to go and you want to enjoy and you want to take the walk? Can you just show up that day and purchase a ticket
Oh yeah,
or passport?
oh yeah, yeah. And it's free. No tickets to
Oh,
purchase.
that's breaking news. That's awesome. So this is free.
It's all volunteer run.
All
That's
right.
why we're looking for sponsors, and we don't charge for anyone. Unlike garden tours that charge like 15 or $25, this is free. Anyone can do it. You can go to one home, you can go to one studio, or you can go to all 31,
Oh,
depending
nice.
on your time.
Well,
Um,
that's awesome. What do you think your highlight was of last year?
wow. The first year I had it at my house, and it was really difficult to do the tent and the fans and everything because it's summer.
Right.
Um, the Art Center of Rochester, which is on Titus, near Hudson, near the corner
Okay.
of Hudson and Titus.
Uh-huh.
Uh, she graciously let me show in her space, and there was AC. So
Nice, nice.
we had a lot of people come in and linger uh, because there was AC.
Right, yeah. That's a good draw to bring people in during the summer.
Yes, and it was nice.
I
And
bet.
it's in the plaza where there's Wegmans and pizza joints and whatnot, and the bank, and so that's convenient that you can do shopping and then come check out the art.
Well, it sounds like a
Yeah.
really good experience and something that people should check out.
Yes, that would be lovely.
I'm
But,
a big
if you wanna participate, being an artist or a sponsor, March 1st is the deadline.
March 1st, the deadline. Got it.
Yeah,
Well, that's
yeah.
excellent. I think people should get out and check this out. Supporting local artists is so important, and it's a wonderful, fun time to be around people's creations and see what people have to do with their brains and their hearts and putting everything together and composing some really neat things. So, when were you first drawn to art?
Oh, my whole life, um, taking classes, kindergarten on up. I've always played with some sort of art. I remember even back in elementary school, Mr. Munger had a sandbox in his class, and we dug holes in the sand, and he helped us pour the hot wax in, and we made our own candles
Oh, that's
uh,
neat.
that were coated with sand. And that it was really cool seeing making the form with your hands and whatnot, getting dirty, and then pouring the hot wax in, and then the next class, you got to dig it out and take it home, and it was awesome.
Well, it's interesting you bring that particular type of project up because it kinda reminds me of what you were telling me about your style of art that you really enjoy immersive art.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you think that was something that maybe triggered that style of art for you? That vivid memory of having a tactile experience with the project?
I think it was more of during the summer, I like to be outdoors. I don't wanna be inside a studio, I wanna be outdoors, and, I've painted outdoors for years, but one year, I was going on a hike before painting, and I'm like, "Oh, those needles look cool. Oh, that pine cone, that looks cool. Those leaves look cool. Those grasses, those weeds look cool. That flower is cool." All of a sudden, I had a handful of stuff, and I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I'm so making art with this."
Yeah, I love it.
And then, I took the canvas and dunked it in the body of water that was right there, and so it was completely immersive. I'm outside, the water is the canvas is immersed in the water, and then I painted the whole painting using the needles and the fronds and the weeds and the leaves and the pine cones and
That's incredible.
um it was, and it's messy and it's unpredictable, and the integrity of the item is fleeting, and it's magical.
Right.
Oh, because you'd have this grasp of really thick grasses, and you slide them in the paint, and then you whack them on the
Mhm.
canvas. And you're like, "It's gonna go here," and it's like, "No, I'm going over there."
It has a
And
mind
then
of its own.
and when you lift it off, you realize, I now have splatter on my shoulder and on my pants and over there, and luckily you're outdoors, so it doesn't matter.
Right. I think that's a beautiful medium of art. I love that. That's a wonderful process, and it's something I'm gonna have to try myself, I think.
It is so exciting to see, well, what does this pine cone do?
Right.
And if I roll it or if I scrape it or if I stipple with it, and watching how it interacts with the canvas, in the center versus the sides that are, reinforced with wood. Um, it's different each place that you put it.
Right.
And depending on how much paint you have on the canvas, you might be lifting off the paint
Mhm.
or you might be placing the paint on horseradish leaves. I'll actually lightly paint the horseradish leaves and then imprint them on the canvas. I sent you two of those pictures, and then carefully lift the leaf off, and you see all the little tiny veins. And I didn't have to go there and paint every little tiny vein. It was magical. It was boom, there.
Right.
I just it is so cool.
That it is really cool, and that brings up a lot of landscape artists. Like, if you watch them, I mean, Bob Ross is obviously,
Yeah.
I'd say, well known, correct? I think a lot of people have heard of Bob Ross, but
Yeah, yeah,
the effortlessness, and it's not, I know when I started to paint, one of the biggest things for me, I was micromanaging every brush stroke and every way the paint was hitting the canvas, and for some pieces that I do, there's time for that. But to
yeah,
to really bring a landscape to life or a natural setting of any kind, you need that randomness. You need
yeah,
that unpredictability in either a coarse brush or something that doesn't even look like it would be used to put paint on a canvas.
yeah,
And it creates an effect that makes it lay naturally, like the randomness and not the symmetry that you just don't see in the
yeah.
natural world everywhere you go. Everything's asymmetrical at times when you take it all in.
Well, I took a creeping geranium and dabbed it in white and used those as my clouds. And the vein pattern on them and the fact that they're sort of clover-ish looking. I mean, they have more lobes than that. Um, it just made the clouds more fanciful. I mean, when you look at the clouds, you're like, "Oh, there's an angel. That's a turtle." That
Mhm, yeah, yeah.
it's doing that. Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Um, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. No, I
And
love
then
your process. I really do.
thanks. Um, wintertime, obviously I'm not picking up vegetation in the wintertime.
Mhm.
I do the same idea, but indoors. And I'll be like at the Rochester Makerspace and I'll use packing material, the packing paper, the stuff that's sort of like styrofoam, but it's flexible, bubble wrap, paper towel tubes. And at the makerspace, I'll get scraps from the scrap bin of the 3D printer and the laser cutter and the CNC router and the wood shop, and I will
Sure.
paint only with those scraps. And it is fascinating. Some of the packing material that's flexible, I did an entire painting using. I never used a brush. It's so fascinating, and you can also get, like, plastic plants. So if you want that grass look, you get the plastic grass, and you can do that, and
Right.
the plastic ponds and do that, and,
They'll hold up a
uh
little longer too.
yeah, and those you can wash and reuse.
Yeah, yeah. Well, well, not only are you really obviously immersing yourself in the art that you're
Yeah,
doing, but you're saving money on brushes and things like that. Brushes can be expensive. So if you're
yeah,
using
yeah.
what you have at your disposal, at your ready, that's an amazing way to do it.
Well, the upcycling, is nice. These were scrap bins, not the trash can, they have scrap
Right,
bins.
right.
Um, and seeing what could this jagged thing do? And, like, the painting behind me, part of it, the scraping there you see on the
Mhm.
bottom,
Yes.
was with the different tools that I actually got from the scrap bin, and
Oh,
I scraped with it.
I love it. Tell us more about the painting behind you then.
That's actually, a sort of famous willow that's at the Thomas Creek, wetlands in Fairport.
Mm,
It's parallel to the canal, the
okay.
trail actually, goes to the canal and back.
Mhm.
Um, and that particular willow, when you're hiking, you go, "Oh, that's the willow she's talking about." And then the scrappy trees in the back, and there's cattail reeds in the front. And I was trying to get the changing of the seasons feel of um, the the environment. And they have a little pergola, and I put my table and whatnot at the pergola, and then I got a vegetation from the area. and use that. And then I also had some tools from the makerspace that I had gotten from the laser cutter and the 3D printer, and use those tools too.
Mhm.
So it was sort of a mixed immersive. So I had some indoor stuff outdoors. So that was
Right.
fun doing both. Um, and actually, there's no brush work on this either. Most of the willow um, was done with the reeds from the cattails, the
Oh,
dried up ones, and it was it was fun.
I like that, and I like cattails too. I was always fascinated by them, even as a child. So
Can't
so this
use the fluffy end. You have to use the other end
Gotcha. Yeah, 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 yeah,
because the fluff would just go, you know.
and stick to the canvas and make a mess.
And yeah.
No, I can understand that. So describe how you feel while you're creating art. What goes on inside you as you bring your life, or bring life to your ideas?
It's very meditative. It's very healing, meditative, centering. Um, I will get lost in a painting and the whole world just disappears, whether I'm outside or inside. Even when I get like frustrated, like I want to do this particular thing in the painting and it's not working, that is an awesome feeling that I'm focusing on that instead of the computer program at my normal 8 to 5 job that's not working and the advisor that's going and
Yeah.
the normal workaday stuff that can eat at you, just it disappears. And when you're done with the painting, you've created s- something magical that never existed before. And you had your hand in creating this thing that had never existed before. And if you're really, really lucky, someone will see that somewhere and go, "Oh, I'm inspired. I want to take that home. May I adopt that from you?"
Mm.
And that is the second piece of the magic, is if someone takes it home and adopts it. And then you're like, "Yay!"
Mm. So wonderful. It's so validating. It's a wonderful feeling of support. It's seeing
Yeah.
someone that saw something beautiful in the way that you saw it beautiful. And that connects us. And I love that experience. It's a wonderful way to look at it.
N At the annual membership show at ROCO, Rochester Contemporary Art Center, that piece just sold, and I don't know who bought it, and wow! I mean, it was bought on its merits, not just because, "Well, I know Karen, I wanna support her." No, I don't want someone pity
Yeah.
buying art, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. It kind of cheapens it a little bit. It's like, well, I appreciate your support, but I want you
Yeah,
to have it because you like it.
yeah, and you wanna stare at it, and you wanna reflect at it, and you wanna linger,
Mhm. Mhm.
and, that's magical if someone's walking by it and it helps them recenter,
Mhm.
or helps them escape, or helps them just turn around and go from to "Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah, that is cool."
Any moment we can get that in our lives from any piece of art or a conversation or anything that we can experience that takes us away from the heaviness of life at times,
Yeah,
the confusion of life, the anxiety of life, to,
yeah,
to bring you to a peaceful place of beauty and wonder and curiosity or inspiration or just, wow, that's neat, is a beautiful gift. It's a
yeah,
beautiful gift to offer the world. That's amazing.
yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. So I know you've touched on it a little bit with some of the other questions, but how has art impacted your life and your life experience?
Ask it again?
How has art impacted your life and your life experiences?
It has really deepened it. I've had some really magical conversations with people, go even going to somebody else's show, and you're standing next to a total stranger that becomes not a stranger anymore. You make a odd comment about what color green is that, and how did she apply that or he apply that, and you see how it lifts off of the canvas. I wonder how did they draw it out, or was it, and then they're starting to debate with you and you're chatting about it and you get intense. And just for a moment, there is no one else in the world but that other person and that piece of work. And, you turn, you smile, and have a great day. And I may never see that person again, but there was that moment. And I'm thinking of one person in particular that I had one of those magical moments with. And it's lovely.
It brings the fullness to life, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. It's there are days when I will escape and go kayaking, or I'll escape and go gardening, or I'll escape and do art. And they all bring about the same thing, the centering, the peacefulness, the grounding. And it's interesting that kayaking will ground me the same as painting for 4 hours. Um, just getting totally absorbed in that canvas and the paint and the goo and the mess and the fly that just landed and started walking across. And I'm like,
Mm.
well, sorry, dude.
Right?
I mean, his feet are now plastics. He's no longer going to be able to stick to anything because, well, there's, you know, and
Yeah,
I'm not someone that like squishes them. I'm just like, you know,
right.
be on your
I'm
way. And sorry, dude.
I'm the same way. I can't hurt a fly, it seems.
Now,
So
wasp, that's a different story, but
oh,
moving on.
oh, well, we'll try to avoid them then. They're very important. I'm a big bee person, and I like to handle them, even yellow jackets. I've known to pick them up and just move them out of the house, or they just land on me, and I just enjoy their company for a minute. But
Bees,
I'm also not allergic, so I know that people that have different experiences than I wouldn't suggest that for everyone. I would definitely know yourself and what your, medical needs are in that situation. So
bees are wonderful. Wasps, okay, moving on.
right, right. So, I've said it before, but I really feel that everyone has an artist inside of them. It's just about finding their medium and finding what inspires
Yeah,
them and the story they want to tell. So,
yeah.
what advice might you have for anyone wanting to create but is a little hesitant or thinks that they don't have the talent or the skill or whatever they might feel is missing from just starting out and creating something of their own?
Actually, taking, an intuitive art class, you can have absolutely no experience whatsoever and come out of it, again, magical experience.
Mhm.
Um, there's many people that teach intuitive art. Stony Point Art Studios, they have a branch in Fairport and Spencerport. She is fabulous. She's got years of schooling. If you really want to do a deep dive, she's the person to go see. If you want something light and activity oriented, I actually teach intuitive art class at the Rochester Makerspace.
Oh, nice.
And thank you. We play with color and texture and that immersiveness of playing with what does bubble wrap do? What does bubble wrap do when I put it in paint and lift it out, or if I put paint on it and smoosh it? And what happens if I smush it and scrape it or ball it up or crunch it? And it's very tactile when I take packing paper, crunch it up, and drop it like a tennis ball, boink, on the canvas. See
Yeah.
what happens.
Mhm. It's all about experimentation.
Yes.
You know, even if
Yes.
you're using just traditional brushes, it's about experimenting on how that brush is gonna pick up the paint and lay it
Yeah.
on the canvas, and what angle, and should you rough up the brush a little bit? Should you
Yes.
and that's very true.
Yes.
We'll be back with more of my interview with Karen R. Staples, but first, we're going to take a look at some of her work. So I hope you enjoy it as much as I have. Take a look. So, Karen, do you have advice for anyone that might want to start creating something but feels that they're not talented enough or not knowledgeable enough, and they're having trouble getting over that blockage of just expressing themselves in whatever art they want to try to tackle?
I say just go for it. Go and play. I learn the most when I play, and make a play date with yourself, and just whatever your medium is, just do it. Even when you're done and you look at it and you go, "Oh, it's horrible." You learn something,
Mhm.
and that is amazing. And at least with acrylics, you can layer and layer and layer. And I have one painting that's 4 layers. The bottom layer was, woo, yucky. Top layer is really cool because 'cause it's got all those different textures, and I let the background sort of come through, and I just go and play, even if it's, photography, woodwork, whatever it is, just play. And you build on your knowledge by what happens when I do this. And hang out with other people that are doing like things. Like if you want to uh, work in a wood shop, join the makerspace and talk with the people there, or just go to the open events and talk with the people there. What Pick their brains.
Mhm.
I've made stuff out of wood, and I literally make a play date with the woodshop expert. And he's like, "Do this, and this is why, and don't do that, and blah blah blah." And I learned so much. I'm not going to be a woodworker, but I had fun playing,
Right.
and fun, dabbling. So whatever your thing that you've been thinking about, just do it. If you want to do watercolors, buy the dollar store version of watercolors, cheap paper, and
Yeah.
play.
Yeah.
And that's how you learn. I mean, yes, there's tons of YouTube videos and whatnot.
Right.
And if you want to do a deep dive, you can do that. But just spend a half an hour or 5 hours playing and see what happens. And if you're just investing dollar store money, you didn't waste your wallet.
Yeah. No loss. No loss.
And if you like it, then buy the next grade at Michael's. And if you like that, buy the next grade. And then all of a sudden you're giving tips to somebody else.
Yeah.
It's
That is one of the best answers to that question that I've heard because of the play.
yes.
I think it's so important in all areas of our life to play, whether it's
Yes.
creating art or even diving into our careers or taking time out or what. See life as play. And if you can do that, it will open up a whole world of perspective and openness and the ability to adapt and to go with the flow and to create something new out of
Yeah.
a normally, routine day that we all share. We all have our routines and our things that get kind of monotonous through life. And when we open ourselves up to play and to try something new and to just experiment with life, with art, with anything that you're doing, just look at it as a grand experiment of play and curiosity. I think that's a wonderful answer, Karen.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. So, outside of the people that you've met along your path and your own art, who are your artistic influences? And do you have a favorite work of art?
Influences, I was trying to remember my ninth grade studio art, um, teacher, and it's killing me. I can't remember her name, at Sutherland, so someone from Sutherland speak up. Um, but she actually tapped me on the shoulder, um, and that meant a lot. And, Mr. Tom O'Brien, in the rest of high school, he also tapped me on the shoulder, and, I learned a lot from him, and, just being relaxed, um, that was important. I've taken the college classes with really uptight professors, didn't learn anything.
Right.
It's it's the laid back instructors that just let you play.
Yeah.
I learned the most. Favorite piece of art? Um, the last one that sold.
I guess that would be the favorite, huh?
And the next one that sells will be my favorite.
I like that. I like that a lot. It's a good,
I mean
honest answer to that question.
yeah, there's the masters and whatnot, but I really don't follow a particular master.
Mhm.
Um, I'll get into, I did the Van Gogh immersive event, that
That's
came
nice.
through town, and I went to Buffalo and then saw the one in Rochester. I started painting like Van Gogh, and I have, like, 4 different paintings of that genre.
Mhm.
Um, and I recently did a very dark piece, um, eh, dark as in not mentally dark, but just the pigments
The
were
color
darker.
palette. Yeah.
Color palette was darker, and
Mhm.
unlike the one behind us that's, very bright.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
My color palette tends to be bright, and I had taken a nighttime picture of the Brickyard Trail, and I was trying to replicate that nighttime winter picture. And, when I posted online, someone said, "Wow, that's very Van Gogh-esque." I'm like, "Whoa, thank you."
Yeah. That's a nice compliment, huh?
So, I've done the stints of the Monets and whatnot, that type, but I don't go out particularly to follow one particular artist.
Right.
I love to experiment and find me. For the longest time, I added labyrinths to all my artwork, and I was the labyrinth lady. And if I did a painting without a labyrinth, they're like, "Well, what happened?" I'm like, "I'm adding it. Don't worry, it'll be there next week." Yeah.
Right.
And for a while, I did all monochromatics. It was just my thing. And now it's that immersive art. And whether or not the piece ends up awesome, it was the experience of totally being there in nature and hanging out underneath a tree and having the little inchworms come down in front of you and go, "Well, you're a little close."
Mhm.
And you take the little inchworm line and you move them over here. Um, that doesn't happen at work. When I'm
No.
inside in a cubicle underneath the fluorescent lights, there's no inchworms just popping down, hanging in front of you, which is good.
Well,
But
I don't know. I think I would enjoy inchworms just crawling all over the place. That's all right. That's a worm I can handle, I think.
yes, yes. Yeah. Uh,
Now you've mentioned several times through the interview the Rochester Makerspace,
yes,
and
yes.
I've heard of this place. I've never been in it myself, but tell me a little bit more about it. It sounds like a wonderful place where people could go and learn and also create if you already do create, if you already are an artist, it looks like it's a place with good resources and a place to pick
Yes.
people's brains and
It's an entrepreneur's paradise. The resources there from just, computers
uh
to the 3D printers, laser cutters, glass cutting, CNC router, wood shop, metal shop, arts and crafts, mosaics, electronics, like fixing electronics or like soldering or,
Oh, wow.
the making your own computer boards, sewing, huge sewing area, um, and you name it. And it's we've been in existence since 2013, I think, and there's some 600 members that are there 24/7, sometimes literally 24/7. But
Really?
it's a great collaborative place. I'll be working on something and someone will walk by, "Hey, have you considered?" And I created something out of plexiglass and laser cutted a labyrinth into the plexiglass and then painted on that because someone said,
Really?
"Hey, I can show you how to do this."
Oh, that's neat.
I've done 3D printed necklace pendants because the 3D shop is there, and I chat with the guys all the time, and I'm like, "Hey, can I?" They're like, "Sure." And they sit down with you someday, you make a play date with them, and you can learn from the ground up and be able to do it completely on your own, or you can make a play date and they will help you do it if it's like a one-time thing. But it's a great collaboration space, and there's plenty of huge tables if you wanna spread out. Um, it's just a lot of fun.
Sounds amazing.
And they
So how
have,
does one
open
become
houses on Thursday nights, 6 to 10, and Saturdays from 11 to 1, if you just wanna drop in and literally see what it's about.
Mhm.
Sorry, you
And then
had a
what's
question.
what's the process of becoming a member, or how does that work?
Well, you have to take their official safety tour
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
learn how not to lose a limb, literally, because the wood shop and the metal shop, you can
That's very thoughtful of them to include that.
and, there's certain pieces of equipment you have to take a class to, prove that you're gonna be safe.
Mhm.
And it's, like a monthly fee, and there's, like, a household fee, so if you have 4 people in the household, you have the main one plus then some et cetera. So it's
Okay.
not like the whole price for each person in your household,
Right. So a
and it's
discount for more people of the household.
yes, yes,
Nice.
and it's household. I didn't say had to be live blood related family,
Right. That's an
it's hou
important distinction. I think that's very
yes,
helpful.
yes. And, your younger folk, can come too, but they have to be fully supervised,
Mhm.
and not all the equipment's open to the younger folk.
Right.
But we do have a Legos table.
That
So
might work for me, actually. I'd be interested in that problem.
and there's a lot of Legos there, so
Mhm.
and all ages have been, sitting there or kneeling there, at the table, so, there's stuff for everybody to do, and there's a little nook with ice cream and coffee and munchies and couches so that if you just need to put your feet up for a few minutes and chat with some people and have an ice cream, part of the membership.
That sounds fabulous. I don't think I need any more perks than ice cream and chilling out on a sofa while I'm there taking a break. I like
Yep.
that.
It's great
Mm,
for households because one person might just wanna read a book while somebody else is at the laser cutter and someone else is at Legos, and you're all within eyeshot, and, it's fabulous.
that's
I've
great.
I've been there since 2014. I've been on the board like 5 or 6 years, um, and now there's new blood on the board. So it's, yeah,
Well, it sounds like a fabulous place. I think it's really important to take advantage of things like that in the community. Um, just even to meet new, interesting people all trying to support each other and
yes,
create things and bring brand new things into the world on a daily basis. And it sounds like it's kind
Yeah.
of a bustling place, that there's a lot going on there.
Yes, yes. We have a couple of small businesses, I mean, small micro businesses that actually work out of there, and, it's fascinating to see when they were just concepting stuff and now they're manufacturing things.
Mm.
One person makes belt buckles, yeah,
Mhm. Yeah,
and I've
yeah.
seen him at festivals, at the, public market. I've seen him at the public market, and I'm like, "Hey, I know you." He's like, "Hey, I know you."
That's
But
great.
yeah, it's a very friendly, sociable place, and, yeah,
Mm. Well, it sounds like a place to be supported and, feel comfortable learning, and to be able to
yeah,
open yourself up and dive into whatever type or medium of art that you'd like to get into.
yeah, yeah,
And Rochester
and
is great for that. Rochester has lots of art,
plethora,
involved in pardon, what was that?
a plethora.
Yeah, a plethora, indeed, a plethora. We've got a great art community here, and I love to support it and see people immerse themselves in the medium that they'd like to enjoy, and to just create things and play. I think that's something that's going to stick with me after this interview. You bringing up just play. And I
Thank
encourage
you.
everyone, just whatever it is you're doing, even if it's not art, if it's music, or well, that's art too. So maybe that doesn't count. But if it's your job, if it's something you enjoy or something you're having trouble enjoying, switch that little switch in your brain to playtime and
Yeah,
see how things will open up a little bit, and we'll have a different perspective. So I love that you brought that up.
thank you. Sorry.
You're welcome. No, no worries. No worries. Talking a lot can definitely dry us out a little bit. So this has been a fantastic conversation. I've really enjoyed it, Karen. I have one more question for you.
Thank you. Yes.
The world is going through a great change, as we all feel. If you could give the world a heartfelt message, what would it be?
Breathe. Just breathe. Before having a conversation with someone, before interacting with someone, before looking at art, whatever, just breathe. In for, hold for, out for, pause for, and even asking that person that you want to have a conversation with, will you have a breath with me? And say, what? Just in for, hold for, out for, and look at the person in a different way.
Mhm.
Close your eyes, have your eyes soft, whatever, or have them completely open, whatever. Just take the time to breathe. And all of a sudden, whatever you're involved in it has changed.
Wonderfully put. I can't argue that at all. That's something that I think, and I like that you put it like before anything you do. Even times when you think you're calm, take a breath. There's no problem in slowing down. And I tell you that breath will relax, and it'll start to suppress the nervous system a little bit and start to allow you to open up and get rid of preconceived notions, biases, all sorts of different things that kind of stand in the way from us just fully expressing ourselves, or fully being open to listen to someone across from us, or even being present in a chaotic room where everything feels a little bit out of control. It's good to just take a breath.
Yeah. Even in Wegmans, you're trying to decide what you're doing for dinner. Do I want that or that? You're looking at both. Take that breath.
Mhm.
Close your eyes for a second. Open them up. That's the one you're going to take. And it just is at that point.
I like it. Choosing what
Thank
to
you.
have to dinner can be one of my most harrowing experiences that I ever experience on a daily basis, so that's good advice, that's good advice.
I mean, anywhere you go, if you look at the other person and say, "May I take a breath?" And even if you like physically take your hand and go, the other person's perspective, even if they don't take that breath, has changed
Mhm.
because they watched you take that breath. And that whole situation changes by just doing that.
I like it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, Karen, this has been fabulous. This has been
Th-
delightful. I think you're delightful. I am impressed by your art and your process. And
Thank
the
you.
way you've explained it to us here has been excellent. And
I
wish you all the luck in the world and all the play and the enjoyment that you're getting out of your art and presenting it to others. And I wish you all the success and however you view success.
Oh, well, thank you so much. And this has been an awesome interview. I've had so much fun. I've
I'm
gotten to
glad of
know you, and I wish you the best on your podcast and all the weird intricateness of the technical stuff. And you get to meet all these different unique people, and I wish you the best on your journey as well.
Oh, thank you. That has been the best part of this is meeting new people and getting to interview and hear their stories. I want the podcast to be about that. It's named "Oh, the Humanity" for a real reason, I guess. I want to highlight humanity. I think that we get dehumanized often from all sorts of angles, from our society, our culture, our governments, all sorts of different people against people, and it's just
And if
time to
we just
celebrate humanity and get to know people. And that is a blessing in this that I get to speak with really interesting people. And when I say really interesting, every person is interesting. It just
it,
takes a moment of taking that breath and having an actual conversation with
yeah, and play.
and play. Absolutely. That should stick with all of us after this interview, I think.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. And I'm going to post a bunch of stuff about the Irondequoit Art Walk, or the Passport to Art,
Veronica Passport
and we're
Art.
going to get
It
those
used to
links up.
be called the Art Walk. I forgot to say that at the beginning, but it was the Art Walk for like a decade, and
Okay,
then
okay.
there was the COVID shutdown thing, and it was shut down for a year. And when we decided to reboot, we rebranded it and re-kicked it off as Runaway Passport to Art, because new people were heading off the push. Um, so yeah, it's been around for more than a decade, um, just under different names.
Right, right,
It
right. Well,
went
I like
from
that.
one evening to a whole weekend now.
Well, thank you for clarifying that. That's important to know because I'm sure other people have heard it under the former name
Yeah,
and are like, wait a minute, is this a different thing? Is this the same thing that I've attended in the past?"
yeah,
So that's a good distinction. Thank you for making that. Well, I
certainly.
encourage everyone that is listening to sign up or check it out. If you're an artist, sign up. You said you needed more artists, correct?
Artists and sponsors. Yeah,
Artists and sponsors. So if you'd like to sponsor this wonderful event and support local art and local artists and people at play,
yeah,
and people showing you their way of looking at life. It's a wonderful thing to be a part of, and please sponsor it. Please sign up and go check it out. Like you said, it's free. Go check out the art in your community. Go check out the local artists and the people doing wonderful things and miraculous things and interesting things and curious things and strange things and all types of things.
yeah.
I think it's important.
Yes.
All right. Well, Karen, thank you very much. Is there anything you'd like to say before we go?
Have a magical evening.
I like it. You as well. Thank you very
Thanks.
much, Karen. Bye.
Did your last relationship run its natural course? Grief will clash with that dress. Try the Rainbow Connection dating app. Swipe right for your type of weird.
Your profile didn't mention you were a dragon. Profile picture made it quite obvious.
The smoke and breathing fires, is that like all the time?
Yes. Is that going to present a problem?
The inside of your mouth must taste like unfiltered cigarettes.
Well, let's welcome Elena to the show. Elena, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you? Hi, Rob. Happy
Good, thank
Wednesday.
you. Happy
Great.
Wednesday or next Thursday for
Next
those
Thursday. I'm
watching
sorry.
right now. Wow, we just got into a time loop, I think, because I don't even know it wouldn't even be next Thursday for the viewers. It's today for the viewers. Last Wednesday for the viewers is what I mean. But that's a good place to start. So you are a local Rochester artist here. And how long have you been doing this?
I have been an artist all my life, but I did have an art business. Oh my gosh, maybe about 20 years ago. And then I stopped. And 4 years ago, I started my new art business. So I've always loved art, even as a kid. Um, tattoos on your dolls, mohawks, writing in books, school walls, desks, that kind of thing.
So a vandal. So you were a vandal first.
hmm
Nice. Well, what is the new art business?
It actually is. I repurpose items that people do not want any longer. Things that you find on the side of the road. I'll get a saw out and cut down a table. Or I just had somebody about a month ago drop off a box of baby doll parts and Barbies
Oh.
and doll heads. So I do a lot with those things also, creepy or not. But
I'm
you
sure
know,
if you describe it a little more, it won't give that vibe of some ritualistic weird thing that's going on there.
well, like a hanging baby leg, you could put a succulent plant in, like a baby doll
Oh,
leg. Or
yeah.
I take the old, I don't know if they're ceramic dolls, and I take their hair off and their heads are hollow. So I dismantle their head and then I put it in a pot with chicks and hens, and I keep them outside, or I sell them like that with chicks and hens. And when the chicks and hens grow outside, sometimes they get these antenna which looks like Star Trek from the 70s. It's really kind of cool. Yeah.
I want to see one of those. I definitely want to see that. That's interesting.
Yeah, I could give you a baby head and chicks and hen, and you can start one in your, because you can keep it out all winter. Because I started with Birkenstocks, my old Birkenstocks. I put the chicks and hens in there and kept them outside for, I don't know, several years, and it looked really cool because they would all fill in.
Hmm. That would look really neat.
Yeah.
I like the idea of repurposing things, giving things new life, and giving it a whole new journey to go on.
Oh, yeah. There's been many things. Like, I mean, my garage is, if you open it, it's this episode on hoarders, but everything is organized. It doesn't go up to the ceiling, but there's table legs and spindles and chairs and tables that I am eventually going to get to. And a lot of times, I paint furniture for, Breast Cancer Coalition, or, to donate for some cause. So, yeah, it's good to have a lot so that you can just like pick through it and figure out what you might want to make.
That's a great idea. Would you like to talk about some of the causes that you've donated to?
Yes, I have donated to the Breast Cancer Coalition for 25 years or more for their annual gala where they do an auction. And usually it's one or two pieces that I may donate. It started, they started a rare chair fair, it was called, and I had moved to the east side. and I was at Eastview Mall, and they had all these chairs that people had painted, and I thought, "Well, I could do a chair." And, that's how it started. So now it's just like chairs or tables. Sometimes I'll do a painting, or it'll be like this year, it's going to be a huge I have this really big washboard that I took, the bibs of overalls and attached it to the washboard, and I have flowers coming out of it. So it was something different, you know?
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, and also RIT has a charity auction, and I've made, hand painted chairs for them. And so, yeah, those are about the two that I actually do every year.
I think that's great.
Thank
To
you.
create something that goes to a good cause, to be able to share a little bit of a part of yourself, for a good thing is wonderful. So you
Yeah.
had the opportunity to spend 2 years as a youth art apprentice. What did you learn, and how did that shape you as an artist?
Well, the youth, through the city of Rochester, the youth, and I think they still do the youth summer programs for lower income families. Um, so you have to go through an interview process with your portfolio of your drawings or paintings. And then you tool around the city of Rochester and draw and paint and learn from other artists. They're older than you, obviously, and they teach you a lot of things. So I learned how to cut matting, so that you could have a mat around your artwork. So I learned how to use a mat cutter. Um,
Mm.
I learned how to work with pastels. They showed me a lot of things as far as, like, caring for your paintbrushes. I didn't know that at the time. I was a teenager, I was just like, "Stick them in water
Yeah.
forever, and they'll be okay."
Mhm.
Working with acrylics, shadowing, we did grave rubbings, which was awesome, you know? Um, and what was really nice about it is that once a week, we would do art with the kids at Genesee Valley Park. They had a daycare there, and we used to do art with them. So that was the best, being with the kids. And
Mhm.
one favorite place we went to was Village Gate. Village Gate, I had never been. And the culture, I loved it. There was a shop called Ricky's Place, and they had vintage clothing, and that's when I fell in love with vintage clothing. I was just like the men's blazers, men's shirts I'd wear, men's ties I would wear, but they were vintage, which was made it really even
Mhm.
more cool than ever back in the day.
Yeah. So vintage clothing is really cool indeed. And so you use that also in your art is what you were saying.
I do. I have been lately upcycling clothing. And I use, different materials, and I found a lot of vintage pieces, in fact, at Goodwill. So,
Mhm.
I love doing different things, and that's like my next thing, because you can't do the same boring thing all the time. I can't. I have to
Oh.
go on
Yeah.
to the next and start something new. So clothing is a big thing that I'm doing too. And I have my sewing machine, and I'm thinking of different ways as far as painting the clothing, carving linoleum stamps and having my own design and putting them on the clothing. So it's a constant evolution of what I'm doing next.
And quite a complex workflow when you're dealing with that as a medium as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
So
then take me through your creative process from the initial spark of an idea to your final finishing touch.
it's hard to say because I'm all over the place. I can have 10 things going at a time. A lot of the times I will see something and go, okay, I am going to paint this, and maybe it can go outside and add this to it. Um, but a lot of pieces that are dropped off, I wake up in the middle of the night and I have to write down an idea of what I'm going to do, because
Mhm.
just like, okay, so I'm doing this thing with a doll head. All right. So I had this piece that I had gotten 6 months ago, which looked like something that you had maybe put two pots on, and then it had a middle wooden dowel on it. And I thought, I have this creepy doll head that I want to put on that, but how am I going to make it work? So I did a little
Right.
super glue, but this in the middle of the night, I'm thinking of this. So the next day, I ended up super gluing it, and then I nailed it, and then I was like, okay, the nails are going to show. So what do I do now? So I found this really creepy material, and but it's like blocked, so it looks vintage. So I made a little bow that's going to go on the head, and then I had two pots that I painted to match that material, and then you can put your plants in there, and it's looking pretty cool. But it's always the process of thinking, how do I put these things together? Do I use screws? Do I use glue? Do I use nails? Because it's wood pieces, it could be metal pieces that I'm constructing into some type of art. Paintings, that's acrylic. A lot of times if like I have one where I'm putting I had overall bibs on it. I did a dragonfly going through the overall bibs with some flowers. That was super glue, but only on the seams because the glue comes through the jeans. So you learn that process. How do you attach it to the back of the painting? How is it going to lay on the wall? So
Right.
it's constantly thinking of how these things are going to be, if somebody buys them, how it's going to last for them, and if they're going to like it, how's it going to lay on the wall, like in a painting per se. But a lot of
So
times,
yeah, just
go ahead.
oh yeah, just the logistics of it is a big part of your process.
Right. Because I can see what I want to do with something as soon as somebody drops it off, or as soon as I see it, maybe at Goodwill, or because they have dollar days on Sunday, I'm just saying. Um, there's certain things that I will say, okay, I know I'm going to do that with it, but I just don't have the time, so I'll set it aside. But then I may do five things, and they have stages. So, it's all depends. It all depends on, like you've seen some of my stuff on Instagram, and
Hmm. Wonderful work.
a lot of it is, like I had these wooden drapery circles. I was like, I got a bag of these. What am I going to do with them? So that's when I did this abstract pride painting with those and added them to the canvas. So it's all like placing things and thinking about it a little more, but having that initial idea is usually in the middle of the night.
Yeah. Yeah. That one that keeps you up or wakes you up and you have to jot
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, then what is the most challenging part of bringing a vision to life? And how do you personally overcome creative blocks or self doubt or all that that gets in the way during the process?
Yeah. It is, like I said, as far as constructing it and measuring, I'm not good at measuring. I everything. I've been trying to measure for the longest time, and then it's always off, so I'm not good like that. Measuring's a big problem with me. And as there's always going to be self-doubt. I always think, like, is it good enough? Is somebody going to want it? Is it priced right? Am I
Yeah.
pricing this right? Because a lot of art's expensive. And I understand
Uh-huh.
that it's the time, it's the materials. A lot of my a lot of my materials are free, So my thing is someone really going to like it? But I want to make it so it's going to bring a smile on somebody's face and make them think, you know,
Uh-huh.
out of the box. But then, when I'm feeling that self-doubt, I think to myself, you know what? I'm unique, and if people don't like it, my kids do. So my two adult kids are like, "Mom, you've progressed so much." When I remember when you started out and when you were doing things when we were younger, your stuff has progressed so much. I mean, I'm so impressed." That's what my son said to me the other day, because it's all different.
That's beautiful coming from them, that they get to also see that in your process, in your evolution, and how they'll get to learn by your example. So things that they know they keep at it, they're going to progress. They may not be where they want to be in the beginning, and then they see, well, mom really grew as an artist, and we saw how wonderful, how wonderful of the creation she ended up making down the road, and I can do this with my thing too.
Yeah, yeah, and it's great to have them as my fans, but I will say that, yeah, there's always going to be that self-doubt because I did not go to school for art. Um, there's so many good artists out there, and I don't have the techniques that some people do. Um, but I will say I'm good at mixing whatever paints to come up with that same exact color that is needed for like that material that I was using on that bow for that doll head. I mean, I'm good
Wonderful.
at color. I can see it and I can mix it to be a perfect match. But as far as technique is concerned, yeah, man, I'd love to learn more of a technique. Um, I'm never going to be one of those technical artists though. Like, I was telling you a couple weeks ago about my aunt who is just what an artist. But we all have
Mm.
our own way of doing things. And but there's going to be that self-doubt, but then you got to think I'm unique. I'm doing my own thing. If people like it, great. If they don't, my poor kids when I pass, I don't know what they're going to do with all that art. No, I'm just kidding.
Sure. They're gonna inherit a storage key and,
I know. I know.
but that's wonderful that you touch on that because the self-doubt is a big thing, and also myself being an untrained artist, not going to school for it, I really resonate with what you said there because that is one of the biggest things that blocks me a lot of times, especially from putting my stuff out there. I see wonderful artists with amazing technique and that just will
Yes.
blow me away. But then I remember in the beginning wanting to make something look photorealistic, right? And then I faded away from that. Like I like to learn those techniques because I want to learn as many techniques and tools I could possibly have to bring about the visions that I want to bring about.
Right.
And but at the end of the day, the art that really moved me wasn't necessarily the masters. I can look at someone who has done a fabulous photorealistic piece in graphite pencil that looks like a photograph. And I often find myself thinking, well, I could just look at a photograph. I want to see the brushstrokes. I want to see the artist come through. And that doesn't take I don't want to take anything away from the photorealistic artist because that is a talent and that is technique and
It
patience
is.
and it's really incredible. But the art that moves me is the one that I don't know the technical mastery of the artist that did it.
Right.
If we look at some of the great impressionists and things like that, yes, there is technique, but impressionism and things like that that aren't as precise, you can convey that as an untrained artist, I believe. Now, learning the composition and learning the other, aspects of creating a painting or anything else, y- y- you know, absolutely adds depth. And you can learn as you go, or you can be highly educated and pick up those things. But at the end of the day, does it move us? Does it
Yeah.
make us feel something? Does it
And
make
that's
us
yeah, that's what it's all about, and that's the thing, bringing a smile to someone's face or, a little chuckle, or they're like, "Oh my gosh, this is so cool." Um, and that's another thing, like, I won't like, friends of mine are like, "You need to put a higher price on your things when I do festivals," and I'm like, "No," because number 1, I wanna sell them, and number 2, I
Mhm.
want people to be able to afford them, to buy them, and not just look at it and say, "Oh, that's nice," and then they look and see
Right.
how much it is, and they're like,
It's not
see, and
that
that's the
nice.
thing, you know? My payment for my art is the joy that I see in other people when they buy it, or that I know that they're like totally into it. Like, it just
Yeah.
makes me feel really. I had this older woman who I had first started, it was last year, and I did this long jean jacket and this skull material. It was red. It was like sugar skull, but I made pockets on it. It had the.
That is actually, I think if that's the one on Instagram, I think that's my favorite piece.
Is it
I love
the?
it.
I don't know if that's the one. But it
Okay.
had like, and it also had the sleeves that you could put up, and it had the pieces, and I sewed that too, so that when you brought it up, the sugar skull was on it, and I did the back of it. She was in her 70s, and I put
Mhm.
$30 on it. Okay, 30 is really good because
That is a
a lot of
very
it's
low
like
price point. Yeah.
$200 or whatever,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
it was hot out. It was at the artist row at the public market. She goes, "I love this. Am I too old for it?" I said, "No, honey, you're not." She goes, "I'm gonna wear it all around here the whole entire time I'm here." She brought her family to meet me. It was the cutest thing.
That's amazing.
She was so happy.
To sell a jacket in hot weather has to make you feel good.
Yeah, I know. I know. Yeah, it was cool. The thing is that art brings you people in your life that you wouldn't think that you would meet. Um, I've always been a huge fan of Ramon Santiago, and I always
Ah,
wanted s- some of his art. I mean,
yeah.
that was my one goal that I really, oh, well, my one want, not goal. And when I was consigning my art at this place in Irondequoit, they moved to the fast ferry terminal, and we had a fast ferry terminal that was not a success.
Mhm.
Did you know about the fast ferry terminal?
I have heard about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would go on. If you'd like to describe a little bit of your experience with it, go right ahead because I think it's a fascinating story and
So
should be talked
they
about.
so this store that I was consigning with moved there. I'm still friends with the woman who owned it. And she was like, "Hey, do you want to design and paint the entire storefront?" Because it was in the building. And I was like, "Sure." So I did that. And I visited there, and they've painted over it, and I can feel my brush stroke still. But anyway, so I had hand painted furniture at the time, and windows, and all different things, not like what I do now. That was like a long time ago. And so this one woman contacted me, and she was Ramon Santiago's widow, Marilyn, and said, "Hey, I have a garden," because she has some of my furniture in her home. She's like, "Hey, can you paint this garden stone for one of my family members, and you can come over and look through any of the prints that you want?" And I was like,
Mm,
"What?"
wow.
But when I went there, I swear to God, and this, maybe sounds weird, but it was like when I walked in, walking on that carpet, I felt like I was walking on air. It was I've never had that feeling before, and I got to see, his paintings that she had in their room, and she had
Mm,
some of my furniture in her downstairs area, and I have one of his prints signed, and I framed it and everything. It's huge. It's hanging right above my couch for a garden stone. Okay. I mean, who would think
that's
that
amazing.
I would have a Ramon Santiago. It's not an original painting, but it's a print with his signature. Like,
It's his signature.
yeah,
And to be able to paint the rock and to be able to be in the home and just have a wonderful overall experience is much more than just wanting to take a painting of his home.
right. I know. That's the cool thing. That was like really one of my best moments was that because he and Maxfield Parrish are my favorite artists of all time. So, um, yeah, that was really cool.
That is an amazing experience. We're going to take a pause with our interview with Elena Walls Cosner to take a look at her work. So I hope you enjoy it. You've had a lot of experiences in life. You were a model for Kodak and Xerox. Tell me a little bit about that experience.
So, when I was a teenager, my mother decided to get me into modeling locally. Um, Kodak used to use models to test film. So I was a test model, and you got paid hourly for doing that, and why not? And then you got free
Mhm.
photos for doing that. Um, and so for some reason, I don't know how she met a man who ran a modeling agency locally. And it wasn't, and back in the day, it was called Barbizon, and you used to have to pay, and they would
Mhm,
train
mhm.
you, and that you had to pay for that. Well, with
Yeah,
this one,
yeah, that would be yeah, I've heard of that.
yeah, this one was called Nexus, and you didn't have to pay. Um, and so I met the he was also a model, and he was running it. He lived in Fairport. His name was Frank, um, on a Xerox shoot. And we were doing some, I think it was for like some copier, and it was like a print ad or something. So I met him there. And then in turn, he got me into, um, working for Kodak a little further, um, and doing catalog work. I did a lot of ads for Sibley's. My face wasn't showing, but I was their underwear model. Okay. Um, but I was young, and they didn't show your face, so that was fine, and it was good money. Um,
Right.
I, I would, I did a lot of catalog work. But yeah, Kodak was a big thing because when they came out with the floppy disk, I was on the ad for that, like, their print ad for that. And also, too, what was kind of fun is I was in Teen Magazine, one of their finalists for their model search, but I didn't make it. But I was still in the magazine for making, finals.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, what was funny is you had to, like, how you leave a business card for somebody when you meet them? Um, when you went on, they were called go-sees. When you would get a call for casting for modeling, you had a Z card, and it was, I don't know, it was a little bigger than 4 by 6, and it had 3 photos on the back with your measurements, your height, and then a nice photo on the front that would have your name on it. And so you would
Mhm,
leave that
mhm.
with them so that they knew who you were when they looked through your book. And I had a portfolio of all these photos that other photographers had taken so that they could look through it and see if you were the person that they wanted for whatever ad or clothing or. So it was kind of cool, and it was all local. So I don't know if they do any local modeling anymore, but at the time, and it was in the 80s, they did. But it was fun.
Yeah, I think I heard about it a lot more back in the '80s and maybe the early '90s as well. I don't know how much local modeling they do these days.
Yeah, a lot of photographers had studios on St. Paul downtown in a lot of the buildings over there, and so a lot of times they would be like, "Hey, I got this. Could you do this for me? And maybe we could get some stuff for your portfolio. Could you like model this for me? And then I could trade for photos for your portfolio, which was great. You know, it would just be a couple shots, and I'd have something for my portfolio.
Yeah. It's a lot of value for your time, especially getting that out there.
Yeah, I modeled for like 2 years. 2 years I did it for, but it was fun. I met a lot of people.
You have some examples, do you not?
Oh yeah. Do you want me to pull those out?
I would love that. I think everyone would love that.
You're so positive. All right. All right. So this was for Kodak. I don't know if you can see that.
Yes.
So I'm the one sitting
Yeah.
down. And that was a
Mhm.
seasoned model that was, do you see how, like, elegant she is pointing at the old computer?
Yes, look very talented at pointing. Yes.
Yeah. And then there's this one too.
Oh,
That
that's
was pretty
great.
funny. Yeah.
What an
But I
artful
have,
pick.
you have your portfolio, it's got handles on it. You've got, like, 11 by 16 photos in there of all your work that you've done. Um, yeah, we even had to, like, wear bathing suits. There was this restaurant and it downtown on the top, it revolved. I don't know what the restaurant was called. I don't even know if it's still around, but it would revolve. And it was in one of the buildings downtown. And we had to, for some fur company, they asked us to model furs in bathing suits while everybody was eating lunch. So I did that.
Mhm.
I did that too and got paid
That's
for
quite a
it. So
lump.
it was
That's great.
interesting.
I've heard of that building. I'm trying to remember the name of the building. I know
I can't
exactly what you're talking about. I've
yeah,
seen it a million times. The building is still there. I don't believe there's a restaurant in there, but I'm not sure. Be
it's too
interesting to find
bad
that out.
though, because it was cool in there.
Mhm. That
It
is
was really
neat.
neat.
Yeah, I wonder why there wouldn't be. That seems to be a nice trend I've seen in other major metropolitan areas that, that
Yeah, I wonder what the building's
gone in
even
and
called.
done it, but I'm not sure what purpose. Yeah, I can't remember. I know I've heard it. I'm
Was
not
it
native to
blue
Rochester,
something?
so
Did it blue something? I can't even remember. No, probably
maybe.
not.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Hmm.
Well, that's really neat. A lot of cool experiences. Another cool experience you had was spending 6 years involved in roller derby. Tell me about the
Yeah.
world of roller derby.
Oh my gosh. I'm still friends with I'm retired obviously, but I'm still friends with a lot of the women that were part of Rock City Roller Derby. Um I was home one day and I was 40 years old at the time. I'm 58 now, so that's 18 years ago I started roller derby. Um and Craigslist was a big thing. Remember Craigslist? Well, I
Oh,
was looking
yeah.
at Craigslist. I was looking at Craigslist and, I was like, I saw that these women were meeting at this roller rink in Greece, and I lived in Macedon on the East Side. And I was like, you know what? I used to skate when I was a teenager. I would go every weekend, and I skated when I was pregnant for exercise. I'm going to make a trip over there, which is 30 minutes. And if no one's there, I'll just skate and boogie skate and have fun. And I got there and there was maybe about 6 women, and, they're like they had put on Craigslist meet there. We're thinking about a roller derby, starting a roller derby team. And I was like, "Okay." Um, and there was 6 of us, and there was a few, several women from RIT that were trying to recruit people, and it started from there, and it was one of the best times that I had in my life. The camaraderie, the friends that I made. As time went on, though, I played for 6 years. Um, Getting older was just getting too hard, and but I miss it. I miss the aggression that I used to get out.
It's an intense physical expression. It's great.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, like we would practice. I think practice was like twice or three times. It might have been 3 times a week. And I used to drive a half hour to get there to practice, and it could be grueling. Like, you had to do so many sit ups and push ups and jumps and falls and be up in 3 seconds and
Mhm.
stops. You had to learn a hockey stop. You had to do a plow stop. You had to do a T stop. And to get on certain teams, you were tested how many laps you can do in a minute, and a lot of endurance. And during one of the practices, after we were going from one end to the rink to the other, all of a sudden my leg gave out and I was on the ground and I was like, my friend was right next to me. I go, I broke my effing leg. And she's like, no, you didn't. I did. I broke my tib and fib in half, did a spiral fracture of
Right.
my knee and fractured my ankle all at the same time during a practice. And then I had a rod put in, and then 4 months later, I was skating full force. So,
Mm, that's
you
a quick
know,
turnaround.
yeah. Well, I brought my skates to physical therapy, and they also had me doing jumps on a mini trampoline. And then I was running on my toe stops at physical therapy and trying to do stops and all this other stuff because I still wanted to play, you know,
Mhm.
because it was the first year it started when that happened. Um, but I remember our first bout, and I'm still good friends with the girl that was a jammer, because a jammer is the person who all the blockers want to get so that they don't collect points as they go around. And it was our first
Mhm.
game. And that night before, we called each other and all we did was cry because we were so nervous for our first bout. And we still talk about that, how we were crying like big babies because we had never played, you know?
Right.
But a lot of they're still playing. They're still around. I think they play at the Dome. Um, and the game has changed from when I first started. It was a fast game and now it's slowed down a bit. It's a
How
lot
so?
different.
What
Well,
rules did they put
now
into place to slow it down?
now the blockers, they don't I don't know how to say, they put up a wall. The 4 blockers put up a wall instead of continuing to skate while hitting the jammer. They try to stop her that way instead of singly,
Mhm.
as she's passing each blocker, hit her and get her out of bounds or stop her from, going past you to collect a point. So it's a lot
Okay.
different now. Um,
And now is that a strategy that's evolved, or is that
yeah,
part of the rule book?
that's a strategy. So
Okay.
we had,
Okay.
like, I mean, and you can't elbow when you block. You got to keep your arms in. You got to keep low. There was many times I was in the penalty box a lot. Um, you know, but yeah, I love playing, and still to this day we will go and just recreationally go skating. Because it's just so much fun. It really
That
is.
would be
I
a
do miss
blast.
it. I miss the
What
camaraderie.
and it's a team sport, and you get a chance to gel together, to work together, and something so physically taxing with an element of danger and a road to travel for victory. It creates quite a bond among your teammates.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. I just wish that I had started a little younger so I could have stayed in a little longer. But it was something that I needed at the time in my life.
Right.
And to be honest with you, it got me through my divorce because if I didn't have my family, my Derby family, it would have been a lot harder. So it
Mhm.
was something that I needed at 40, and then um and then throughout, when I in the midst of it, after it was like the middle of maybe 43 when I got divorced, I had my people, and I still have a lot of those people in my life.
Yeah. Those bonds
And a
last
lot of
forever.
surgeries from that too.
It's intense. It's a physical sport.
But you know what was
That's
so
really neat.
fun is comparing our bruises that we would get. That was the fun part, you know? You'd be like, "Oh, look at this bruise on my thigh," and then somebody would be like, "Look at this bruise on my ass," because, you'd
Mhm.
fall or somebody would hit you
Right?
hard, or you'd
And that
compliment somebody on the big ass hit that they just did. That was the fun part too.
and that floor is not forgiving.
No, I mean, we've played on everything. We've played on sport court, wood. concrete, and then you have to have specific wheels for that too. That you had to have, and then we traveled too, which was great. Pennsylvania, Maine, Canada. There was New York City. It was just a
Mm,
lot of
wow.
fun.
Now, was it a specific league, and how many teams were in that league?
So it's Rock City Roller Derby. So it's the local, and they had it for when we first started. It was only one team. We started getting more people. So then they had the Rock City, the rock stars, and then the B sides, and then we had our local teams, which was the Maulers. I was on that team, the Rotten Chesters, and the Five Hate Fivers. So those
The
were three
five
local
eight
teams.
fivers? I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I was on the Midtown Maulers. It was the the Midtown.
It's a cool name. What was yours?
Oh, mine wasn't that cool. It was light and laney because I was pretty fast.
Well, well,
Yeah,
that
I was
works. That's a cool name.
yeah, I was pretty fast, and, I'm still, good friends with, my friend, Solala Fagu, and there's, Paraliza Minnelli, and
Paraliza Minnelli, I
yeah,
love that. That's
yeah,
fabulous.
there's Emasculatum, Shaun of the Dead,
Oh,
um,
nice.
what was the other one? Vengeance Von Slay. So,
Vengeance Von Slay.
yeah, um, and then we got, let's see who else I'm trying to think of who else I'm friends with, but, the funny thing is that when somebody goes, "Oh, I know somebody that played roller derby," and they give you their regular name, you're like, "Who is that?"
You're known as
My nickname is Lainey. I mean, my family calls me Lainey, so when people used to say my real name, I would be like, "Who's that?" You know?
you start to forget. Yeah, that's great. That's a fantastic experience, and it really I really resonate with that because I worked in professional wrestling for a while, and it was an intense physical thing of expression in art as well, and we had to come up with names, and there are so many people I worked with that I wouldn't know their real name. I would only know their wrestling name, their stage name. So
Yeah,
it's interesting. It's an interesting world and how you
yeah.
remember people and what comes to mind when you think of people from the past in those type of industries.
And my body was in such good shape. I swear to God, like, I remember this guy I was dating, he was like, "You have legs like a thoroughbred." I was like, "What?"
Skating is no joke. Skating is no joke. That's
Oh,
intense.
it's not, it's not, and, people go, "Oh, you rollerblade?" It's like, don't even say rollerblade, okay? Because you can't
Right.
even compare it because they were speed skates, low boot, quads. I mean,
Mhm.
they go for like $275 and then you've got all different types of wheels on top of it, and then
Mhm.
your gear that smells rancid, but you just feel
Yes,
bad
the
for people.
smell of a locker room. Yes.
You just feel bad for the people in the penalty box counting your time.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Things could get pretty ripe in the wrestling locker room as well, with all of our
Oh, yeah.
gear and sweaty, sweaty stuff that maybe we didn't throw in the laundry or dump our bag out before we got into the next event. So, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, gross. Well, that's fascinating. You've had so many different experiences. What would you like to add that I haven't asked?
Oh my gosh, I don't really have that much to add, I don't think. Um, I don't know.
Well,
I've
that's
talked
okay.
a lot.
I
I've talked a
you've given us
lot.
you've given us a lot today, and it's wonderful.
That's
So,
good.
I usually ask everyone so far this question at the very end of the interview. The world's on fire as we see, with a lot going on, a lot of confusion, division, heartache, turmoil, all sorts of things. If you could give everyone in the world a message, what would your message be?
We don't have a king. Bottom line, we don't have a king, and you matter. It doesn't matter, race, nothing. You are human and you matter in this world. And don't listen to a fool that thinks he's a king because he should not even, it can't, no. A lot has happened and it upsets me so much. And I just have to remember that eventually he won't be around,
Right, right.
you
It
know,
doesn't last.
and everybody is doing the best they can to try to survive this, but everybody needs to know that they matter. No matter, I mean, I keep saying matter, but they matter.
Well, that's
He
important.
doesn't. He does not matter. It's just, it's really upsetting to see what's going on because this is not America. This is not, you were people are talking about moving out of the country, right? I know a lot of people that want to do that,
Absolutely.
you
We're
know.
seeing it we're seeing it in all facets of our nation. We're seeing whether it's entertainment or business, politics, those that are pulling the strings do not have our best interests in mind. And
Nope.
they haven't for a very, very, very long time. And when you mention you matter, that is really, really important because I think a lot of our society has been constructed on hierarchies, even subconsciously. And so we start to look at people in positions of power or even people that inspire us as heroes or people we like their art or their entertainment or whatever it is. And we lose ourselves a little bit.
Right.
And we don't realize that we're just as important and just as powerful as everybody else on the planet. And that it's going to take collaboration and working together. And it's the diversity of us all that holds us together like a glue.
Yeah, that's right.
And to raise someone up to further your purpose or to make you feel safer or imagined fears that are occupying your mind, it's not okay. And
No,
it's
and
taken totally away from the idea of what America should have
and you know, in exactly in this time, and I've always done this, is that you have to reach out to a stranger. The other day I'm at Wegmans and I see this younger guy and I was like, "Hey, your jacket's really cool." Or, an older woman or your cashier. I mean, I'm always trying to be personal to that person. You don't know if they're having a bad day. You don't know what they're going through. You have to be friendly and you have to just reach out to people and let them know that people care about you, even though you may not know them. You may not know them, but it could make somebody's day. I walked up to an older man and I kind of embarrassed myself, but he was very good looking. I go, as I was leaving Wegmans, I go, "I just wanted to tell you something." He goes, "Yeah." I go, "You are very handsome." And he was
been.
like, he chuckled and he goes, "Thank you." I go, "Okay, bye." But you know what I mean? Like that kind of
Right.
thing,
Yeah.
just to make people
Mhm.
feel good. You gotta make people feel good, especially now, because people aren't feeling good. So,
No.
I've always done that, and, I remember when my daughter was younger, she'd be like, "Oh my god, here goes my mom again." But now, she sees me doing that, and she gets a smile on her face because she knows what I'm doing, and she said to me, one day, she goes, "Mom, how did you know to make that person smile? Because they told you that they weren't having a good day, but somehow you knew to say something to make them smile." And I go, "I try to do that all the time, you got to,
You've
you
set
know?
the intention, and so that piqued your intuition to be able to put yourself in places where people are, need your positive influence.
Mhm.
It just happens naturally. But when we set that intention to just make the day a little brighter for everything and everyone around us. And I think I get a lot of like, well, what do we do? This is so big. It's so we can't vote ourselves out. We can't, it feels hopeless. We feel powerless. We feel what you have just described is how we do it. It's each individual trying to be that light, that good influence, that good part of some stranger's day. And we don't have to go too far out of our zone to do that. If we can just kind of take care of our own corner of the earth, our own little plot. And if everyone does that, there's no place for all this grossness to hide. It'll be swept away.
Mhm.
It'll just go away. The more people that try to tackle the day and every interaction and everything they do, even the most mundane tasks, to bring some joy or hope or peace or upliftingness. That's not even a word, but I'm just going to use it
Yeah, I like
to
that
every
word.
part of your day. Upliftingness. I don't know, but it's just about taking care of your own little bubble. And it's not that you don't reach out, and it's not that you're not aware of the whole world, but taking the whole world in one bite or trying to find one solution is going to be overwhelming. But like you said, if you can do what you're doing, just in every interaction that you're doing, bit by bit, that has a ripple effect and it will cover the whole world. The whole a butterfly flaps its wings in Japan and there's a tsunami across the other side of the world, sort of
Yeah,
metaphor.
it's true. It's true, and we all need to do that, you know? I did, and here's one aspect. So, in my neighborhood, there was, all of a sudden, the police were all over the place, and I guess there was a stolen car, and 3 teenagers had stole it, and one was on the run, okay? And they said, "Oh, lock your doors, blah, blah, blah," and I wasn't worried about it. I mean, if they didn't say they were teenagers at the time. So, I guess they were looking for a couple hours in our neighborhood. And so this one woman on another street in my neighborhood had her camera, and her boyfriend found it was a teenager in their back porch and talked to him kindly
Oh,
and asked him if he had any weapons, and the kid was like, "No," and he was like, talk to him about going to the police, and the kid agreed to it. But he was gentle with this young kid, and you can
mhm.
see in the door cam, he goes, "Do you want me to carry you?" Because the kid lost his shoe, and it was when it was below 0, and he
Oh,
goes,
wow.
because he had a hard time walking, he said, "Please." And the guy carried him to the police who were still out there waiting in our neighborhood, and they took him to the hospital because he had frostbite. But it's the way
Oh,
that that was handled. The way that that
mhm.
man handled him with care was so
Gentleness and kindness.
it made me feel so good because regardless if they stole the car, okay?
Right.
Regardless, they're still babies in a way. They're still teenagers and he treated him with care. I don't think he was a driver regardless, but I mean, he treated him with care.
Right.
And I thought that that was really great. It just hit my heart. My heart's over here. But, you know,
That's a that's a wonderful example because that type of de-escalation ability and the ability to be gentle and kind to everyone. Everyone deserves gentleness and kindness. I don't care
right,
if they've stolen your car or annoyed you or impositioned you or have horrible thoughts they have about you or words. Everyone deserves gentleness and kindness because everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has a chance to change and to get themselves on a different path. And that doesn't happen if people treat them poorly the whole way there.
right,
And
right.
so
And I don't
that is
agree
a
with
wonderful.
stealing the cars. I mean, it hasn't happened to me, and I don't agree with that. That's not why I'm saying,
Right, right.
saying
Yes, yes,
I like how this gentleman handled it, how he
right,
was
right.
kind, I think that's great.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's not to excuse the action, but it's to realize that the actor making that poor choice, no matter what it is, deserves kindness while they're being processed, while they have to go through the legal
Right.
system and go through that. But during that, they should still be treated that they're of worth, that
Yep.
they're a valued human being that we're rooting for, no matter what the mistake is that they. It's a good
Yeah,
outlook.
everybody needs that. Everyone needs it. You need kindness and you need to be treated well. Because, the thing is that we're all humans. Everybody makes mistakes, but it's how you learn from them if you have somebody that's kind to you. That's just how life is, and that's just how it should be in the world.
We
So,
all need that support system.
yes,
If we
that is
can't be there for someone at their worst, what are we really doing?
yeah, that's right.
It's
That's
easy to
right.
be there during the good times and everybody's minding their P's and Q's and following the law and doing everything that they can at the best of their ability. But it's tough to be there for someone who's struggling, who's not
Yeah,
making good choices, who is faltering and getting on a path that could be destructive. But to be there and be that guiding light and set good boundaries, you have to set boundaries and there
right.
has to be a legal system and there has to be all
Yes.
of that. But how it's done about is the question. And what are we
Yeah, I mean,
providing as an attitude or support for people that need that?
that is true. So true.
Well, this has been a lovely conversation, Elena.
I'm glad I got to, do this.
Yeah, it's
I
good to have you
appreciate it.
on. All right. Well, tell everybody how they can kind of find your stuff, your
Oh.
Instagram or whatever you'd like to share.
Oh, yeah, I'm on Instagram under Walls Cosner, um, and Facebook under Elena Walls, Walls Cosner. Yeah,
Definitely give her a follow, add her. Her stuff is incredible. And this has
thank
been a
you.
wonderful conversation.
Yes, thank you, Rob. It was great. It
Oh,
was great to meet you, and I'm so glad that you had posted that, on,
oh,
our group.
well, thank you. Likewise.
And I wish you ultimate success because you are very personable, and I think that this is gonna go somewhere for you.
That's very kind to say. Thank you very much. Just with that compliment alone, it feels like success. So, thank you.
Well, you have a good night.
All right. You too.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much, Elena.
Honey, did you feed the fish?
Ooh, he is just so cute. I want to pet him. Do you love us like we love you?
Yes, put your hand in here. Even with my last flopping gasps of breath, I will take you to the sticks with me. You will be met with the death so absurd, yet so grim, that it will grow to become mythology. Grown, strong men will become irreversibly impotent. Wombs of women will cease to produce life upon hearing the macabre, brutal state of your discovered bodies. Edgar Allan Poe will stir in his grave, and Stephen King will be aghast on Twitter as the tale of your murder crosses the land. You see me just a fish, but I am an ancient demon, cursed by Poseidon to be trapped in this form forever. Ooh, the flakes again. Flaky flake flakes. Yummy, yum, yum, yum.
Well, that's it. That's the show. That is episode 3. And I want to thank Elena Walls Cosner and Karen R. Staples for joining me for 2 wonderful interviews, sharing their process and their love of art. It's been a pleasure. And now I will leave you with one last little bit of comedy before we head off to episode 4. Take care, and I hope you'll be well till then. See you soon.
You look like your first celebrity crush was Rick Moranis. Honey, I shrunk my expectations. If you can't dance, they say you have 2 left feet. So if you can't fuck, do you have 2 left nuts?